Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Modeling Mocs. I'm your host, LegoMan71, and in honor of National Superhero Day, and as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, I am going to do a superhero themed episode. At first, I was just going to do a showcase of my mock of Netflix's Daredevil.
The scarf looked better. Nice ears.
They're horns.
But soon I wondered, why not go more in depth? Why not give story to this Lego look-alike of a popular Marvel character? Well, with that out of the way, onto the video. On the distant planet of Barra Magna, during the final battle between Matanui and the evil Makuta raged. The denizens of the Matoran universe were held captive in the Great Spirit robot, which was taken over by Makuta. While Makuta was distracted by the fight with Matanui, Toa and Matoran alike were fighting for survival. A group of 4 Matoran held their own against Makuta's forces of robotic Exotoa and dreadful Rakshi. The leader of this group was a Matoran, who went by the name Matua. Brave as they were, the Matoran were losing the battle, and when one Rakshi slashed Matua's eyes out, shattering his mask, it seemed the fight was lost. Just then, a portal opened up, and through came the mighty titan Artaka. With one swipe of his mighty forge hammer, the opposing forces were all decimated. As the ground they stood on quaked with every blow landed by the Matanui robot, Artaka looked down at the 4 severely damaged Matoran. He moved quickly, gently picking them up off the ground as he disappeared into the portal from which he came. The portal led to what was left of the realm of Artaka, the place he had lived for tens of thousands of years. With what little protodermis was left in the forge, Artaka created 4 new sets of mask and armor for the young Matoran. With his legendary mask of creation, he transformed the small Matoran into mighty Toa heroes. Their former identities were now gone, and they were given new names. From that day forth, Matua was gone, and Daredevil, Toa of Fire, was born. Although he could no longer see, the mask of combat, which Artaka specifically made for him, allowed him to not only master every fighting form in the universe, but he could also sense the movements of those around him. On that day, the Toa Defenders were formed. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of notes, mainly because I don't want this video to be too long. But first, I started out with a different way of assembling the torso. As you can see, there's mostly Hero Factory and CCBS parts, such as the main bone structure of the large figure body part. I don't exactly know what that's called, but I used that with a Hero Factory torso and a custom chest design on the front, which I'll get into that later. And then I used a Ignika back part and put a little axle ball connector as the neck. Used a standard Metro head. I find myself using the Metro head a lot more just because of that added bit of articulation. Moving up from the head, we have Galva's custom mask of combat, which has 4 holes where you can just put little normal pegs that would fit in the hands of a classic Lego minifigure. I decided to put those little horns because, Daredevil. Now, back to the chest part. For the chest, I exported the chest piece into Blender. I split it up into several pieces, brought the pieces into Part Designer, did some custom color trickery with it, and then I placed the Daredevil logo on his chest. I know what I was originally going for was the Netflix style of Daredevil, but I just put the Daredevil logo on his chest, you know, just to signify who he was if it wasn't apparent enough. As for the legs, if you saw my earlier video of Toa Tuyet, my custom mock for Toa Tuyet, you would see that I use the same sort of leg design with Hero Factory boots, Paraka legs, and Hero Factory parts for the thighs. When I was building Toa Tuyet, I was actually referring back to this mock for the thighs and how I designed them. As for the arms, I used a custom handpiece that I made and posted on Thingiverse. The forearms are also by Galba. Those are the Avmatorn custom arms. And finally, for the weapons, I gave Daredevil his billy clubs. That just about covers it. I'd like to thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to, consider subscribing. It'll really help out the channel. And with that, I end the transmission now.
Game over.